If Florida and Kentucky went out to dinner, things might be a little awkward. Call it Southern hospitality, but the Gators haven't picked up the check since 1986. And this is where things get a little tricky. Recovering from a concussion is tough. You have to have no YouTube, no Facebook, no reading. Full cognitive rest is key to recovering from a concussion.
And that's simply because there's more of them. More high school football players means more high school knee injuries.
They're like that guy at the office, you know, the one who flirts with you, the one who's not invited to the office parties, but he shows up anyway. Point is, this team will not go away. So what's really making you sleepy after a large Thanksgiving meal? It could be a number of things. It could be your time off from work, your relaxation, or it could just be the heavy food giving you heavy eyelids. Maybe you've heard of Jaden Cox, four-time state wrestling champion at 4 different weights. Giving up 70 pounds to his opponents as a senior just because he can.
22nd four-time state champion.
Maybe you've even heard of his brother Dre, also a state finalist. But you probably haven't heard of his younger brother.
Now let's meet the wrestlers for the 132-pound weight class championship.
I've won Tulsa Nationals about 5 times. Trinity Award, placed in Fargo twice. Been on the All-Star team member for 2 years. So far undefeated, 2 years in a row.
Meet Jaden Clayton. He's never lost a high school varsity match. He's got 2 state championships under his belt as a sophomore.
Good, but keep going forward.
With plenty of time left.
That's my goal, is to become a 4-time undefeated state champ. Be the second person in Missouri history to do so.
Jaden is a big madman stuck in a little man's body. He thinks he's the best, and that's not cocky at all. That's pure confidence out of him. He thinks that he can beat anybody that walks in the room. He thinks he can beat me, all right? I think that makes him crazy because he'll want to wrestle guys who are like 300-something pounds, 200-something pounds, doesn't matter.
And it all started here. A glorified garage in Millersburg with some wrestling mats. Home to Mike Eierman, a former All-American at Nebraska, coached at Missouri, but in the end, started up a youth wrestling club at his home.
You have to win Tulsa Nationals, Tulsa Kickoff Classic, and Reno Worlds all in the same year.
And 2 of his first members, Jaden and Jaden.
Those guys showed a little bit of something different, you know, they were getting things quickly, physically and mentally. That's when I was like, man, these guys got something special.
Mike Eierman is like a father to Jaden Clayton. He even calls Mike dad. They live together with the wrestling club out back. This is a story about 2 brothers.
I say I love that dude, I really do, you know. I would take a bullet for Jaden Clayton.
I think they both definitely fueled off each other. You know, I think Jaden Cox set the standard, and he set it pretty high. And I think Jaden probably wanted to outdo him maybe. I don't know, you know, because you know how it is when you're that close, you know, like brothers and stuff.
And a little pressure? Sure.
Kind of like, all right, now I gotta step in my brother's shoes and fill in for the next 4 years.
Some pretty big shoes to fill. But for now, it seems there's a new Jaden in town. Peter Terpstra, KOMU-8 Sports, Columbia.
All right, Peter, thank you very much. Now, folks, if you're curious to see what it's like to step on the mat with a state champion wrestler, you can go to KOMU.com for a match between our own Peter Terpstra, who you just heard from.
What we're going to do is I'm going to put this on my head while I wrestle the state champion from Father Tolman High School, Jaden Clayton. So let's get it on, I guess.
I guess he started when he was in college.
Your typical day for a college athlete.
In this room.
Hit class. After all, you have to pass your finals. So what's next?
Lunch.
Some cafeteria food. Then it's time for Chelsea Merrigan to practice.
More than anything, it's discipline. Self-control, the mind game, the mental edge. Everybody that comes to college to compete in rodeo can win.
Winning is something Missouri Valley Rodeo knows. They've placed in the top 4 in the nation for the past 4 years.
It's in our life. It's something I know I want to do for the rest of my life and want my kids to do, and it's a lifestyle.
saddling up is second nature to Merrigan. She's one of 9 Missouri Valley Cowboys and Cowgirls to trip to the national championships in June. And she'll tell you, it has nothing to do with luck.
People say that all the time, but you make your own luck. You know, you practice to be a champion, and, you know, it shows up in the end.
It's not like you grab a set of tennis shoes and get on a bus. The kids might get out of class on Wednesday night and jump in a truck and trailer and go to Troy, Alabama. They'll have to stop 2 or 3 times to let their horses off to exercise and just to keep them limbered up. They'll get there, sleep for 3 hours, and then compete.
We travel a lot. We miss school a lot. It's definitely something that you gotta love and be dedicated to.
Rodeo athletes have to provide their own horses, pay their own travel expenses.
When I watch professional sports, sometimes I think, oh my gosh, these guys are making several $1 million a year and they have no respect or no camaraderie for one another, you know? And I think that would never fly in our sport.
To me and to a lot of kids, it gives them, you know, a purpose to be here and a reason to do good in school and to go to class and to be successful.
It might not be a sport in the spotlight, but they say it's worth the ride. Peter Terpstra, KOMU-8 Sports, Marshall.
Now from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU-8 Sports.
Welcome back. Team Missouri basketball seems to be a walking contradiction. On one hand, the team's perfect, undefeated at home. But on the other hand, the team's like a cheap diner steak. Missouri's road record just doesn't live up to the hype. But there's good news. Today, the Tigers were at home taking on LSU. Expect a little filet mignon. Pack the bib because things would get messy. Keon Bell to Jabari Brown, who lays it in on the other end. That's the first points of the game, 2-0 Tigers. And then Alex Oriaki. How about some dessert? Put back dunk. That was nice. 6-0 Mizzou leads. But later, LSU would storm back. Johnny O'Brien, the third putback jam. He should be named after a king or something like that. He sounds a little medieval, but he could play. LSU would continue to dominate from behind the arc. Anthony Hickey from the corner, and then Hickey once again from downtown. Haunting memories of that diner steak comeback. And Charles Carmouche bangs one in from behind the arc. LSU now up by 13. But wait, the Tigers are at home, so you know what that means. Mizzou goes on a 19-4 run. Ernest Ross with the and one, game tied up at 29. Elbow, Lawrence Bowers with the turnaround jumper gives the Tigers the lead, and they led by 4 at half in the second half. Phil Pressey pulls up 3. That's nice. Mizzou starting to put together that nice 4-course meal you've been waiting for all season. On the very next possession, Phil Pressey, sneaky Pink Panther style, lays it off the glass. And then the young buck, Negus Webster Chan for 3. Let the young guns eat the leftovers. Mizzou goes on to win 89-76.
Obviously, it was a good win for us.
More times than not, whenever we do that.
Now, people are impressed with Bob Burchard's Columbia Cougars. So impressed, it might make you wonder, what if the Missouri Tigers tripped a mile north to take on Columbia College, even for a half? Let's not compare teams. Let's not replace, because really there is no comparison between NAIA and Division I. But the moral of the story is the Cougars are creeping in on the spotlight in Columbia. And today, taking on Williams Baptist in the AMC tournament semifinals, Columbia College is the only undefeated team in NAIA, Division I, Division II, or Division III. And they would not miss. Tanner Sutton from 3. CC made 10 threes in the first half. And then Sutton drives on the wing. He's going to dish it to Marquette Morrell inside, who gets the and one. And how about some more from Marquette Morrell? He was doing work inside. Here he's going to get the rebound. Nifty little move inside. Can't touch him. And the layup. The Cougars move on to the AMC tournament finals. They're now 32-0 on the season. CC wins 97-56. They face the winner of Park and Missouri Baptist at home at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Now for the up-and-comers. It's playoff season for high school hoops. A bunch of local teams were in action today, starting with Class 5 district finals. Big-time crosstown rivalry for both Columbia powerhouses, Rockbridge and Hickman girls. Rockbridge wins 50-38, and the boys a little tougher. Rockbridge and Hickman again. Hickman, though, wins the boys game 66-62. Catch those highlights on KOMU-8 News at 10 tonight on Channel 8. Now onto the Class 3 boys state quarterfinals. Fatima beats Stratford 65-45. They play St. Pius the 10th Thursday afternoon in the Final Four. Also, Southern Boone's playoff run ends to Lutheran North. They lose 57-47. On to Class 2, the boys quarterfinals. Salisbury, you'll hear more from them later. They beat up on Canton 68-34. Wow. They play Oran Thursday in the Final Four. Sacred Heart falls to West Platte 76-66 to end their season. Now for the Class 2 girls quarterfinals. Marceline, they move on to the Final Four with the win over Sturgeon 41-37. They'll play Thursday at noon against either Neelyville or New Haven. And the Class 1 girls quarterfinals, Chamois beats Norborn 45-24. They'll play Mercer Thursday night in the Final Four. Now that you've had your sports fix, we'll end this sportscast on a nightcap. Folks, this highlight is awesome. That dunk was dirty. Salisbury's Austin Francis, why'd you have to do that to all those nice people watching? They're never going to be able to forget it. Zach Wyatt off the inbound to Francis. You saw that Salisbury won big over Canton. This team lost in the finals last year. In the state finals, they're looking to get back there and hopefully win it all. That's going to do it for sports now. Break.